Hi fellow pickers, welcome to a lesson on my arrangement of Keep Your Lamp Trimmed and Burning. We are in standard tuning and I have the capo in the 2nd fret. Okay, let's start with the verse. We start with the normal E minor chord, and at the beginning we have alternating bass between 6 and 4. And then we have this little melody run in the bass. We can play this mostly out of this normal E minor shape. We only need one additional finger, which is the ring finger in the 3rd fret of the 6th string. Then we switch to a B7th. And here we have this double alternating bass. So we have 3 different bass notes, and we have to bring our middle finger from the A string to the E string. Next bar we have another little bass run on the B7th chord, starting with the B, which is in the chord shape. Then we lift the 2nd finger in order to get this A note, and then we have G and F sharp. We'll play these with the pinky and the middle finger, so the whole run is this. So I'll play bar number 3 and 4. Okay, and the whole line is: Sister, don't you get worried. Sister, don't you get worried. Then we repeat what we played in the first 2 bars of the verse. And now we have a C7th chord. To G, so we bring the ring finger from the A string to the E string, and then these 2 fast notes, open A string and 1st fret of the A string, and this brings us into the B7th chord in the next bar. Our work is almost, and the last bar is in E minor again. So I'll play line number 2. Sister, don't you get worried. Our work is almost done. Okay, when we come to the chorus, we have to come to the 7th position to play this kind of E minor chord shape, and the fingering of this is A string 7, and then we have 9 on D string and G string, and we have 8 on the B string. And what I do is I play with a brushing thumb over 2 strings, so that we get a bit of a fuller sound next chord shape would be this B7th. We have the 7th fret of strings number 6, 4 and 2, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, all in the 7th fret, and the pinky is in the 8th fret of the G string. And then we have to come back to E minor. This time we use this chord shape where we have 9th fret of D string and G string, 8th fret of the B string and E string 7. So this is the chord shape that I use at the ending of this line. And if you have a look at your tablature, you will see bar number 4 of this chorus. The last note of the first group is an open G string, which actually doesn't belong to the B7th chord. It would belong to the next chord, the E minor. For the E minor it would be a right note, but not for the B7th. So this is because I want to give myself a bit more time for the transition, and so I often play open string notes, even if they actually doesn't belong to the chord, but I play them very discreetly so nobody will be disturbed. And yeah, this makes the transition a bit easier. You could also just leave the note away and play the 3rd note of this group as a quarter note. That would also be okay. So I play from bar number 3. Okay, and the whole line. Keep your lamps trimmed and burning. I'm sorry, I started with the wrong chord. Actually, I have this one again. Keep your lamp trimmed and burning. Keep your lamp trimmed and burning. Then we go down to this E minor. Keep your lamp trimmed and burning. So this is very similar to what we had in the verse at the beginning. And then we have the same C7th, the same approach to the B7th, which we also had in the verse. And at the end we only have an E minor chord, a normal E minor chord. Here I often, not always, do this arpeggio with the index finger, okay? Okay, let me play the whole chorus. Okay, now that we have mastered verse and chorus, we can have a look at the first of the 3 solos that I play. We start with an E minor chord. We have alternating bass between 6 and 4. All these notes up to here can be played out of the E minor chord shape. At the very ending of this first bar we have this 3rd fret note on the G string, which is played by the pinky, The next three notes are on the B string, 0, 3 and 0. And the next note is a second fret note on the G string, also played by the pinky. So all additional notes will be played by the pinky. Then we have the open string, open G string, and a second fret note on the D string. And I played this with the index finger. I also marked this with an I over the note in my tablature. Okay, and so this time we can't do the alternating bass on the D string because we just played this note before. So this time play the note on the A string, so second fret of the A string, and all together it sounds like that. And now I switch to a B7th chord, but I start with this B7th over the F sharp bass note. So instead of holding this note, I play this one. So not the normal B7th chord, but B7th over F sharp. And then I switch to the normal B7th chord. Then again with the F sharp in the bass and in the melody, we have the same melody that we played over this E minor. So B string 0, 3, 0, G string 2 and 0. Okay, so this is bar number 3 and 4 all together. It sounds like that. I'm sorry, I choose a wrong fingering, so I normally play it with middle finger and ring finger. So again. Same thing again. Now we have a C chord, and we start with 0, 3, 0 on the first string this time, and then we have 3 and 0 on the B string. As we change from 3 to 0 on the B string, we have a new bass note, which is the second fret note on the 5th string. And this is an octave. We have the low B and the higher B. And this starts a row of octaves. Before we come to our E minor chord. And at the ending of this bar, we also have this arpeggio with the index finger that I showed before. So instead of explaining every single note, you can just use your tablature. I'd rather play it one more time, really slowly, from the C chord. So let's play the whole solo really slowly. And okay, let's come to solo number 2. We start with this E minor chord that we had before. D string and G string 9, B string 8, E string 7. The first bar can be played out of this chord, and in the next bar we have this melody, and we have to lift the pinky out in order to play the 10th fret note here on the first string, because the melody is 7, 10, 7. Then we bring the pinky to the B string 10th fret. Before we lift the pinky out and bring it back to its position in the 9th fret of the G string. So this is bar number 2. I play it one more time. And together with bar number 1 it sounds like that. Now we go to this B7th chord. We need a bar over all the strings on the 7th fret, plus the middle finger in the 8th fret of the G string. We have exactly the same pattern as in bar number 1. And the same melody here. Back to our E minor. Okay, so this is line number 1. I play it for you very slowly. Now we just repeat first 2 bars, and in bar number 4, 5, 6, 7, in bar number 7 of this second solo, we start with a C note, 3rd fret of the A string, then a slide from 3 to 5 on the B string. Then we have 3 and 5 on the E string. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes with 1 touch of the right hand. So this is a combination of several hammerings and pull-offs. It might need a bit practice. This is followed by 3 on the first string and 0 on the first string. just as I played, I noticed that sometimes I also play this this 5th fret note on the E string. So the last note of the second group of this bar. Okay, so we can do it both ways, like that, with only one touch, or with 2 moves of the right hand. Here we have a B7th with an added ninth, an augmented ninth. And the same ending that we had before. Okay, so line number 2 of this second solo would be and the whole solo, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's finally come to solo number 3. We start with the same chord shape that we used in the chorus, E minor, and the first 2 bars are only a back and forth of this chord shape. Okay. From the 7th position to the 6th position, but only for one note here in the first bar, and also for only one note in the second bar. Okay, then we change to this B7th that we had before. Also here we have this back and forth 7th, 6th, 7th. At the end of this bar I play an open B string note. And then we have this melody on the E string where we we have a break in our alternating bass, and we play 7, 10, 9, 8 and 7, all on the E string, and I use this alternation between thumb and index finger in my right hand. Okay, so from the beginning. Then I do a glissando and end up in the same E minor. Same back and forth. We had this before in one of the solos. also. This is something that we had before. This was the ending of the first solo, and then only our E minor ending. Okay, so this is solo number 2. Let me play the whole thing slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay friends, that was Keep Your Lamps Trimmed and Burning. I hope you had a lot of fun, and I hope you found this lesson useful. And as always, I'd be glad if you welcomed me back soon for another lesson. In the meantime, take care. Cheers. Bye bye.